Test, test. All right. All right, there it is. How's it going, everyone? It's been a while. All right. Welcome in, guys. It's 4:01 p.m. in Las Vegas, Nevada. My name is Richard Barakat, founder of Barakat.com. Check us out. 10x US Nigeria exports. We coach, in addition to us manufacturing and exporting Nigerian goods into the United States market, we also coach other entrepreneurs, small, medium-sized enterprises, on how to scale their exports to the United States and vice versa. So today, this is going to be a dual, two-sided live that I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be speaking to both the US side and the Nigeria side. So that's my audience today. In the past few months, I have specifically been focused exclusively. I would probably say like 90% of my content has been directed towards Nigerian entrepreneurs back home looking to enter into the United States market. But due to popular demand, I've been getting a lot of requests from you guys privately to also educate people in the US side on how to export US products into Nigeria, which, by the way, I think is an amazing market because Nigerians love American products. Nigerians love American products. Just like how America loves Nigerian products, Nigerians also love American products. So welcome in, guys. I truly do appreciate you guys joining me today in this live session. So let's go ahead and get started. Like I said, this is a dual session. Whether you are in the United States looking at Nigeria, or in Nigeria looking at the United States market, this opportunity, this value that I'm going to give you today is two-sided. So we're going to be talking about your entry points, building credibility, and also leveraging partnerships and collaborations. Obviously, I only have an hour to dedicate to this. There's only so much that I can cover in that hour, but I'm going to do my very best to at least give you guys the foundational information on how you guys can get started. I mean, I've been in the import-export space now for 22 years, going on 23 years. I started in 2003, initially as a broker. I was brokering imports, exports between the US and China. It wasn't until 2017 that I pivoted to Nigeria and started focusing on Nigeria, which is my home country. And it's literally, the transformation for me has been night and day. So talking about transportation, guys, when I am coaching you guys, I coach the mind. I feel like I feel like you can actually figure out how to do something once your mind has been rewired. So that's what I do. Like, I coach the mind. I train people on how to change their thinking. So if you're on the United States side looking at entering into Nigeria, obviously over the past decades, let's go ahead and get the elephant out of the room right now. Nigeria has a negative rap. Usually when you hear Nigeria, you generally don't think opportunity. It's always the negative. But I can honestly tell you, and I'm speaking to my US audience, my US-based audience now, whether you're an American or you are a Nigerian diaspora in the United States, Nigeria has actually turned the corner. And I would say I've started to notice that over the past like 10 years, where we still have a long way to go. But I can honestly say that we've turned a new leaf in the country. The leaders are doing the very, very best that they can. to change the world's perception of Nigeria. I wish we could do a little bit better as far as like advertising Nigeria more as a place where people can come and invest, people can come and work and live. But we are getting there, guys. We're getting there. So it's always like, when you rewire your mind on how you perceive something, it truly does change how you interact with that thing, whether it's a person, a country, or something. When you change your perception of how you look at that thing, it really does help change how you interact with it. So I really want to encourage you guys. I am not here to preach Nigeria or force feed Nigeria into anybody. I can only speak based on my own experiences, and only what I've tapped into, what I'm currently tapping into at the moment, and then what we plan on tapping into in the future as a company. So I can only speak on my experiences. Other experiences vary, but I can tell you guys, for the past 5 years that I've been working and exporting from Nigeria into the United States, and I've also exported from the US into Nigeria, it has been nothing but fun for me. It's a little bit challenging, or it can be challenging sometimes, but Nigeria is definitely where the focus is right now for the majority of Nigerians who are abroad, and even internally within Nigeria, foreigners. There's a lot of investment activities going on. Obviously, this particular session is more about exports, exportation of products and services in both markets, whether in the United States looking at Nigeria or in Nigeria looking into the United States. So Nigeria isn't, we're not there yet, like I said. On a scale of 1 to 10, I would give Nigeria a 7 in terms of improvements. So yeah, we are developing. We are starting to cross over. There's been a lot of attention, international attention, in a positive way as far as like business towards Nigeria at the moment. And this is why I'm creating this, to hopefully plant a seed and help encourage people to actually consider Nigeria, like take another look at the country. Okay, and then give it another shot. If you've been burned before in the past, give it another shot. There's a platform right now. I run a trusted platform. If you guys are out there and you're looking for assistance, you're looking to hire anybody, you're looking for help on navigating Nigeria, that is what my company, Baricat.com, that is what we do. We can definitely help you with market entry into both countries, whether in Nigeria, whether in the United States. So I'm sitting in Las Vegas. This is where I'm domiciled. I'm originally from Nigeria, born in Lagos, but I'm domiciled here in the United States, and I travel to Nigeria regularly on business. So our export right now has been purely 100% made in Nigeria products. You can find some of what we sell featured on our website, baricat.com/shop. We also have a storefront on Amazon and Walmart. So before I move on to the next one, I'm going to say, change how you think about Nigeria. Trust me, it's going to change how you interact with it. So as you guys know, and this is for the US side, Nigeria is Africa's largest economy. The population, 220 million people at the moment. It's estimated that Nigeria may hit 250 million in the next decade. So it's definitely the giant of Africa in terms of like opportunity. Most people who immigrate internally within the African continent, majority of them actually do end up in Nigeria. Ghana is a close second, where they go to. South Africa as well. But Nigeria is definitely a market that you really want to pay attention to. Just the sheer population of the country, 230 million people. And I would probably say like 60% of them are under the age of 34. So it has a very young, versatile workforce. they're actually looking to work. There's a friend of mine right now who lives in Canada. He's in the HR space. He recruits, he works within globally, and he recruits talent in Nigeria to work for global companies. So there are definitely people there, whatever you need done, whether it's web design, digital marketing, construction, you're looking for a sourcing agent, you're interested, obviously, if you're watching this, you're interested in Nigeria, you're looking at importing Nigerian products into the United States, there are sourcing agents available that you can reach out to. And for the Nigerian diaspora, the days of you having to engage your family members, I can honestly tell you that you should definitely put those days behind you. Now there are people, there are professionals, and I mean, this is what they do for a living. They help international clients source products in Nigeria. They help international investors complete building projects in Nigeria. So the platform is there. If you really want solutions, and if you really want an answer to your problems in Nigeria, the solutions are definitely there. You just have to look. You just have to look for it. So yes, those days are over, guys. Days of engaging your brothers and sisters to work for you. Put those days of remitting money to people. Those days are behind you. Now everybody, I can honestly tell you that the majority of Nigerians abroad, they are looking at investing back home in Nigeria. Now, if you are on the Nigeria side, you all know that the United States of America is the #1 buyer in the world. The United States of America is the #1 consumer market in the world. You're looking at $7 trillion in annual trade. I'm talking about exports and imports, and it's split evenly too, 3.5. That is how much. $3.5 trillion is what the United States spends in imports per year. And also $3.5 trillion is what they spend in exports. So breaking into the United States market is the holy grail. Like, don't let anybody fool you. Like I said, I have friends in Canada. The Canadians want to work in the United States. The Canadians are looking at entering the United States market. I have friends in Europe. Everyone is looking at the United States. So breaking into this market, breaking into the United States market is going to position your product and services for scale across North America and beyond. If you can crack the US market, which is the market that we're in, obviously, with a wealth of experience in this space. Look at the US market. If anything, start optimizing. And I'm talking about on the Nigeria side now. Start optimizing your business. Start benchmarking your business towards the United States market. Now, some might argue, and again, listen, the sub-Saharan African market is also huge. I don't have any experience in the sub-Saharan African market. I clearly don't have any experience in the European market. But some may argue that, okay, those markets are also thriving, but I'm telling you right now, they pale in comparison to the United States market. So this is the market where you want to be. Channel all of your focus, channel all of your energy to try and solve the US market. Once you are able to enter and penetrate and access the US consumer base, you are going to scale exponentially, because it's just the ease of doing business in the United States is unlike anything else out there. It's a lot easier to do business with the US than it is China, than it is Canada, than it is Europe. The United States market, the US is a business-friendly, it's definitely a business-friendly market that you want to be a part of. And as I mentioned, all of your optimization, optimize it to be able to access and win in the United States market. So we're going to go over a little bit of an economic snapshot of Nigeria. And now this is the United States side now, looking into Nigeria. Um, Nigeria has a lot of products with nowhere to go. I'm talking about if you are in the consumer packaged goods space, CPG. Let's say you are in the let's say you are in the business of creating whatever you're creating, and let's say natural wood is a huge component of your invention. Nigeria is the place to source for natural wood. There's so much raw materials in Nigeria with nowhere to go. And you don't even have to, yes, obviously there's two ways you can go about it. You could either import the raw materials from the United States into the US market, or you can actually have whatever it is that you want manufactured for you and completed in Nigeria, and then you can import it into the United States. We have a strong labor force. If you are let's say you are in the grocery space, we have the arable land in Nigeria. I can honestly tell you that some of the healthiest foods that you are going to eat in your life, they're cultivated in African soil. 60% of the world's arable land is in Africa, and they are untapped. That's for those in the agricultural food space. So that's just a brief economic snapshot. I mean, cashew nuts is huge right now in Nigeria. There's a lot of exportation of cashew nuts, whether it's raw cashew nuts, whether it's roasted cashew nuts, salted and unsalted. That is a space that you can get into. Something that's easy for you to actually process and import into the United States. Now, when I consult with some of my clients, what's peculiar, actually, it's what usually stands out when I ask them, what is it that you want to do? Like, what sort of products do you want to import or export out of Nigeria? It's always, they'll talk about they want to do palm oil. They'll talk about they want to do gari. What's the third one? And then there's this other ingredients called ogbono. Just like the three top things that Nigerians are always looking at. The export opportunities in Nigeria is a lot bigger than those three items. You just have to have imagination. And I'll give you an example. So when I was growing up as a kid, even till now, there's this stick. They're called turning sticks. We use it to turn gari and fufu when we were kids. We just started manufacturing. It's actually one of our top 5 sellers on Amazon right now. They're the turning sticks that we made in Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria, that we make in Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria, and we process it there, we manufacture them there, and then we export them into the United States. Now, let me tell you our process on how we do this. And actually, before I say that, I'm going to tell you that one of the things that you are going to need a team. Everything starts with a great team. And you are also going to need to ask for help, because you cannot create value by yourself. You are the visionary, obviously. If you are the business owner, you're the CEO, the founder of the company. Your role is to be the visionary. You set the vision, but you are going to need to have a great team around you, and you are also going to need to you have to seek help in areas of your weakness, because you cannot do it by yourself. So when I started facing Nigeria in 2020, I honestly didn't even know where to start, because I had been gone for so long. I'd been gone for about 16 years. Didn't really know anybody outside of my family. Most of my friends have all emigrated. Didn't have a didn't have a bank account, didn't have a valid passport. I literally just had a vision of what I wanted to do. And when I made my decision, when I decided that this was what I was going to do, I was going to stop my China US business and pivot to Nigeria US. I knew that I had to get going, and I had to get going fast. And one of the decisions that I made early on was just to go back to Nigeria. It's one of the decisions that I made. I went back. I was able to just took my time. I started learning. Obviously, I had to get the basics done. Got a bank account. I got an NIN number. I got my BVN. BVN is like a biometrics. Like, in order for you to be able to open a bank account in Nigeria, you have to get your biometrics done first, and you have to get fingerprinted. So I got all of those things done in the stateside in the United States. So when I went to Nigeria, I linked up with one of my childhood friends, and he took me around. We opened my bank account. I immediately got a Nigeria phone number. It's one of the first things that I did. I still have the phone with me that I use when I'm in Nigeria. You're actually going to need that too, guys. If you want to operate Nigeria, I highly recommend for you to get a local number, because it's just a lot easier for you to use the local number within Nigeria. And then when you cross over back into the United States, stateside, you can then start using like your WhatsApp number. But for the most part, I take two phones with me. I have my US phone. I also have my Nigeria phone. If you're wondering, the company that I use is Airtel. I find that Airtel is a lot more reliable than MTN. So when it comes to you selecting a carrier for your phone, you just go with the best one that they have right now. It's just, to me, it's Airtel. It's never given me any issue. And it's what I've been using. So you are going to definitely need a team, okay? Because without my team, I don't think that we will be as successful as we are today, because they do a lot of the micro decisions that I don't have to make. My team can make those micro decisions on their project, obviously with permission from me and with encouragement from me. Like, I encourage them to make those micro decisions, so then that way they're not sitting there calling me every single time they need something done or they need decisions made. So you got to be able to empower your team to make these micro decisions. So yes, you are going to need a team. So let me get back before I actually forget what I was going to say before I said that. Before I started talking about the team thing, is when we started with the turning sticks. So what my team did in Uyo and Akwa Ibom State, we sort of like broke it down into like the first principles of any manufacturing. What are the components needed to make this particular item that we want to make? It's very simple. It's just log. Then it becomes, well, what kind of log are we looking to use? Now, that is when the expertise comes in. That is where you now go out and look for the who can give you that answer. Because yes, the component that you're going to need to make a wooden turning stick is obviously wood. But there are very different variations. There are all sorts of different woods in Nigeria. Which one is the best one? So what we decided to do was to go out there and look for a reliable woodworker. And by reliability, I mean somebody who has been in woodworks, like a carpenter almost, for years. Like, we wanted somebody with years and years of experience, somebody who understood, that can tell me the difference between wood X and wood Y. So that was one of the first things that we did early on. And Sammy, I mean, if you're watching this, thank you so much. He's my assistant in Uyo that handles all of my affairs. He was able to track down a wood carver in in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. So this was the person that we went to, and they showed me samples of his work. He's been doing this for years. Although he did have experience manufacturing and carving the turning sticks that we needed, but that was okay. We don't need him to have that. All we wanted him to have was domain experience. Know your way around wood. We were going to give him our design, give him the specifications of what we need, work with him on making the first prototype. And then once that prototype is approved, then he can go into mass manufacturing. And mind you guys, all of this is done by hand. He makes these wooden turning sticks by hand. So what we did was, we ended up finding him. We hired him. I sent over the design that I wanted him to make. He worked very closely with Samuel. I wasn't involved in the prototype part of it. I just wanted them to just give me a final prototype, and then I'll make my changes. So the exact prototype, so he got the design, and then he worked with Sam locally there in Nigeria, came up with a prototype. The only thing that I made was just like minor. The only changes that I made, the feedback that I gave him, was just to make minor refinements on the actual product, like a little bit of a curved edge, a little bit of a smoothness here, a little bit of a length here, shorten it to a specific size. Once he was able to make those changes, and we all agreed and accepted that that was the product that we were going to mass produce, that was when the mass production started. And he's been creating these turning sticks for us now for about 6 months. We have a shipment that he just actually wrapped up about a month ago that's sitting in our warehouse in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, that we are planning on bringing into the United States here soon, before Q4 of 2025 for the Christmas shopping season. Okay, so it's very, very critical. You need to have a team. I went through family, I went through friends. None of them really worked for me. You need to find somebody or people that is what they do for a living, so that they can give you the results that you are looking for. Because if you're on the US side, obviously, and not to discount those on the Nigeria side, but our expectations in the United States as far as like quality standards is much higher than the expectations and quality standards of Nigeria. So you got to be able to find a team that understands your vision. And you also have to set, this is the US side now, you also have to set your standards and do not deviate from that standards. No matter what, set your standards, bring your team up to your standards, as opposed to you going down to theirs, because you're going to face issues, especially when you get into manufacturing. And I always say this, like, I've aged at least 5 years manufacturing in Nigeria, just because of now it's actually better now, because now I have a stronger team than I had when I started. My current team, from Sam, my assistant in Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, to my export manager Progress in Lagos, that handles our packaging and prepping the export readiness of our product in Lagos, Nigeria. It took me 5 years to develop that team. And it's going to take you some time for you to find a winning team. And you're going to go through a lot of people to get there. Okay? But nothing works without a solid team behind you. So just keep that in mind as you make your decision. Another thing too is you got to decide. And you have to commit. Nothing happens until after you commit. Okay? So let's talk about products. Like some of the And again, I'm breezing through this now because on an hour is what I want to give this. And if you want to go more in depth into market access, both countries, you can go to Barricat.com /mentorship. We have an export school. I can advise you one-on-one. If you're looking for more of like a long-term mentorship, visit Barricat.com /mentorship. If you just want like fast, quick answers to your most pressing export questions, visit Barricat.com /consulting. We also have a conference coming up in January of 2026 in Nigeria. I'm going to be in Nigeria. This is a full day conference for those of you who are interested. It's going to be in Victoria Island, January 24th, 2026. I'm going to be there. If you're an entrepreneur in Nigeria looking at US market access, I highly encourage that you sign up for the conference. There's only 40 seats though. I'm only taking 40 people. I'm going to workshop along with you at that conference. It's going to be very hands-on and very informative. Yeah, so check it out, Barricat.com /conference for those who are local in Nigeria and you want more of a face-to-face access. Bring your product for review. I'll give you feedback on your product. Visit Barricat.com /conference and secure your seat today. Now, so yes, like I said, on the US side, if you're looking at exporting American products to the United States, Nigeria loves US products. I'm going to tell you right now, one of the sectors that you can get into is the used auto parts sector. Here's another thing too. Nigerians are loving right now American-made vehicles. Fords, US-made cars. They are selling like hotcakes in Nigeria right now. So if you can get in, even if it's like an aftermarket parts, because my uncle, he owns 2 Ford Explorers and he only sources parts from the United States. You can be that US stateside supplier of American car parts to the Nigerian market. Think about that for a second, guys. Think about that for a second. In the United States of America, set up a social media account. You help source American products for the Nigerian market. And also niche down. Do not be a generalist. Niche down to the products that you offer. Do you want to do motorcycle parts? Niche down to that. Do you want to do automobile parts, which is inclusive of cars and motorcycles? Niche to that. Do you even want to do brand specific exports? I have a Hyundai Elantra right now. Yes, it's a Korean car in Nigeria. Anytime there's an issue, when I'm back home, I write down the car part. When I'm back into the United States, I buy the car part and I take it to Nigeria. That is it, because the thing is, I guess I shouldn't say that. Let's just say that there's a lot of counterfeiting going on right now in Nigeria. You can be that guy that supplies authentic American automobile parts to the Nigerian market. You can be that exporter that does that. Do you want to get into fashion? There are dealers in Nigeria right now that are looking for American clothing. You can be that supplier. Set up an Instagram account, set up a website, start positioning yourself. You see, guys, it's not always about bringing Nigerian products into the United States market. You can also start sending American products to Nigeria. That sourcing agent that I talked about, you are a US-based sourcing agent. You help Nigerian businesses source American products at stores, on Amazon, on Walmart. Nigeria wants US made products. And you have the advantage, guys, of that trust factor. They trust US based service providers. The chances of you winning that contract or winning that job is much higher because you're already based abroad. You understand the economics of the United States. You understand the US market. You can get into food, bulk food exports. The value chain is there. It's just about what do you want to do? What do you enjoy doing? Consumer packaged goods, branded coffee. But here is the thing. If you want to export US brands, American brands, let's say Starbucks coffee, any branded American product to Nigeria, you need to make sure that you're an authorized reseller of that product. How do you do that? I'm still on the US side. How do you become an authorized exporter of an American brand into the Nigerian market? Contact the brand owner. Contact the brand owner. Guys, there are so many private label brands right now online. And it doesn't have to be a known brand. It just needs to be a product that people are already buying. If you have a product that's already selling in the United States successfully, go on Amazon, go on Walmart, look at the reviews of these products. Look at this product that already has a loyal following. You can become the reseller of that product in Nigeria. Even if you are based in Nigeria, you can do that. All you have to do is reach out to the brand owner. My name is ABC, XYZ123. I'm an exporter. I'm looking at talking to you about the opportunity to be able to become an authorized reseller of your product. The market that I'm looking at is the Nigerian market. You talk about the population. You pitch them. If you are more of a face-to-face person like you, it's just like me. I do a lot better when I'm in front of people. You can attend trade shows and position yourself as a sales rep, as an international sales rep for brands. You help take American brands to international markets. The demand is there, and so is the gap. Fill that gap. It's even better if you are a Nigerian. You know the language, you know the hustle, you know the sentiments, you know the landscape. There's a lot that you can do by bringing American product into and I'm not talking about like products that are made in China and then shipped. I'm talking about there are US brands out there with made in USA stamp that you can export to Nigeria and win. Now, if you're on the Nigeria side, it's the same concept. If you have it, but here's the thing though, your product must already have a following in Nigeria. If you really want to make an impact, if you really want to, because that is your leverage. You have a product that's already selling locally. Nobody's going to buy ideas. People actually want to buy something that's already selling locally. So if you are a food manufacturer in Nigeria, or you are a clothing designer, you make Western clothing using Nigerian prints, or even make Nigerian style clothing using Nigerian prints. Make sure that your products are already selling locally first, because that is your leverage. The United States, the US market is, if you are a master at what you do, you are an expert at what you do, you are an actual, and I'm going to use an example of a tailor, you are an actual designer, you know how to sew a straight line. There's a reason why I stopped buying Nigerian clothing, because it just can never ever get it right. But if that is the value that you offer, you are a designer, boutiques are already carrying your products in Nigeria, the United States will carry that product. There are going to be sellers in the United States. If you can prove to them and show to them that your product is already selling locally, and it also has to be shippable. That's one thing that a lot of people don't consider. The size and the weight of your product. Is it convenient? Is it easy to ship? That is why I don't encourage furniture, because they're so bulky. You gotta spend an hour reading the instruction to put the furniture together. But if you have a product that's shippable, aim for, and I'm talking about for like mass market, like fast sales, something that you want to hit the United States and sell fast. Aim for something that's less than £1. Keep it light. Keep it shippable. Stay away from items that break easily, that can be damaged in transit easily. Because here's the thing, guys. The US consumer is hungry for authentic Nigerian products, African products. They are hungry for it. Nigerian food, dry groceries. That's what you want to do. Stay away from perishables, because they are hard to store. They are hard to transport. The shelf life on perishables, the most you're going to get, what, 3 days? I was just at the Walmart conference in San Diego. I actually had a meeting with them. You're looking at a company that's $650 billion every year, market cap. They are still, and I'm talking about like Walmart fulfillment, just like Amazon, like Walmart marketplace, like Amazon marketplaces. They still don't have the infrastructure in place to be able to store perishables. That is why Walmart does not carry perishables for third-party sellers. Because they just don't have the infrastructure to be able to store your frozen foods and store your fresh vegetables. They don't have that. In the stores, they do, but I'm talking about in the fulfillment warehouses, they don't have that infrastructure. Is it you that has that? An SME? Simplify. I tell people all the time, simplicity is beautiful. It's one of the hardest things to do, is to keep things simple. Simplify your packaging. Simplify the product that you are selling. Simplify the shipping. That's a whole nother video right there, logistics. So what type of food should you be looking at? Spices, specialty foods. I always recommend foods that can easily cross over to the US side. Because when you are doing ogbono, when you are doing palm oil, these localized Nigerian spices, you are only targeting a limited demographic. Crayfish crosses over easily because it's one of our top selling seasoning. Items like salt, be mindful of these items that I would term oversaturated and highly competitive. Salt is one of them. In the beauty space, soap is one of them. Highly competitive. Shea butter cream, highly competitive. You know why? Because the Ghanaians already have that market. There are companies in the United States that make shea butter cream. It's highly competitive. I'm not saying don't export those. I'm just saying be very, very mindful. So the trade advantages, guys, for the US side. So AGOA, the African Growth and Opportunity Act, is coming up for renewal. For review at the end of September. I'm recording this September 3rd, 2025. I think September 30th, at the end of this month. The Africa Growth and Opportunity Act is coming up for review by the Trump administration. Nigeria is eligible, meaning you are not going to pay duties, and you are not going to pay duties on over 1,800 products. But you are still going to have to pay your tariffs. And right now, depending on the product that you are, I think Nigeria right now, it was 14%. The original announcement is 14%. I mean, no civilized country right now can escape tariffs. Everybody has to pay tariffs. And ours is 15%. So you got to decide, are you going to absorb that 15%? Or are you going to pass it on to your customer? Or are you going to refine your supply chain? Meaning you got to get rid of things, maybe negotiate a better rate with your supplier. These are some of the things that you need to start thinking about, because that 15% tariff is not going to go away. So Nigeria, US is part of AGOA. So the Africa Growth and Opportunity Act is a trade act between eligible African nations and the United States. So if you are considering exporting or importing between Nigeria and Canada, that is not AGOA. You got to look into the Canadian market and see what sort of trade act they have with Africa. If you are considering exporting between Nigeria or any other African nation and Europe, that is not AGOA. AGOA is strictly between the United States and eligible African nations. And Nigeria happens to be an eligible country. There's so many things that they look at. They look at the stability of the country. I'm talking about the US. They look at the stability of the country. They look at human rights. They look at certain policies. They look at trade relationships over the years. There's so many things that they look at. Now, when a country becomes, usually when the countries that are not eligible, that are ineligible for AGOA, are usually very volatile nations, African nations. Maybe a country with a history of instability. A country that the United States and its allies have deemed as a terrorist haven. Those countries, those nations are ineligible and they are not part of AGOA. So the benefits of having AGOA, or when you are declaring your products, the benefits of going through AGOA, and your customs agent is going to actually help you with this. If you have a import customs agent that knows what they're doing, they are going to file your entries. Meaning, if you're in the US, you're importing Nigerian goods into the United States, or in Nigeria, exporting Nigerian goods into the United States. These are the guys that are going to file your entries for you. They will file them under AGOA. So your items can enter US territory duty free. I mean, that is a competitive edge that you can't miss out on. And unfortunately, AGOA isn't something that is really, really emphasized in Nigeria. People don't really talk about it because they don't know about it. So you want to take advantage of that. Reach out to your customs broker, ask them about AGOA. What is their understanding of AGOA? Tell them to educate you on it. So then that way you can make an informed decision and start taking. You see, when it comes to international trade, it's about who is the most informed. Who can best leverage these resources to their advantage? You're talking about over 1,000 product categories, not just individual products, categories. You can qualify for AGOA. Nigeria is an eligible nation, meaning we are in good terms with the United States. Leverage AGOA. Look into the American Export School. Come in for mentorship. Invest in mentorship. Invest in consulting. Invest into the conference. You can ask me. You can message me on WhatsApp. With your questions. Obviously, I charge for that. Start there. Now, when it comes to your sales channels, okay, now you've decided you want to do this. You want to export Nigerian goods into the United States. You want to export American goods into the United States. Now you got to start looking at your sales channels, right? Most of you, I'm speaking on the Nigeria side now, the first thing that you think about is, okay, I want to sell to Nigerian stores. The problem there is Nigerian stores, and again, I am not minimizing what they're doing. I'm only telling you, Nigerian stores, local Nigerian stores, they don't have the buying power and the skill to be able to grow your business. They might buy one bag of Gary from you, one bag of Ogbono from you once every 6 months. That's it. They just don't have the buying power and skill to grow your exports. In comparison to stores like a Walmart, with over 4,500 Walmart stores in the United States, and 90% of the American population, you're looking at 330 million people, 90% of that population They live within a 10-mile radius of a Walmart store. That is scale. Could you imagine what a purchase order from Walmart can do for your business? And that is just one sales channel. There is e-commerce platforms like Amazon. Now, that's for the US, because in Nigeria, you can't sell on Amazon from Nigeria. For those of you based here in the United States, you can open an Amazon Seller Central account today. Start importing Nigerian goods and selling them on Amazon. Some of you are on Etsy. Some of you are on eBay. Those are also sales channels, which, to be honest with you, I don't recommend those sales channels because they are very, very difficult to scale. Why? Because you have to do your own self-fulfillment. Somebody buys something from you today on, let's say, Etsy. You have to say it and package it and ship it and go to the post office, you schedule it. It's just too much going on. That is not a scalable business model. So you want partners like a Walmart. You see, you got to look at platforms like Walmart and Amazon as partners. The better you do on those platforms, the better you do. You're going to get to a point where you are doing so much business on these platforms, they are going to give you your own account manager. Growth begets growth. And growth is exponential. Scaling is exponential. So in addition to Walmart Marketplace, so in America, we have a storefront on Walmart Marketplace. Walmart fulfills all of our shipments. We import from Nigeria, go straight to Walmart. We import from Nigeria, go straight to Amazon. They fulfill all of our shipments. In addition to that, though, we have our own WooCommerce store on America.com/shop. A few items that we self-fulfill, but I would tell you maybe about 75 or 80% of every product that we bring in from Nigeria is fulfilled through Walmart and Amazon, which actually gives us time to grow our business. So the percentage is 50, depending on the product, is anywhere from 10, also depending on the platform. It could be anywhere from 10 to 30%. So if you sell something for $100, they'll give you $90 and keep 10. They'll give you $70 and keep 30, depending on the platform and depending on the product. I'm telling you guys, it's still better than you having to hire employees to fulfill orders for you because you're trying to save some money. So when you are going through in the US and we are going through platforms like Walmart, Amazon, Shopify, WooCommerce, there's no middleman. You are selling directly to the consumer. Are you following me? You are selling directly to the consumer. And what does that mean? It means that you keep more of your profits. There's no need to go through the wholesale system. Actually, that is actually dead now. When you look at some of the top brands in the world, they are selling directly to their customers. Now, on the Nigeria side, obviously, you can't list products on these platforms directly. You have to go through an existing US seller that has an account. Because the way e-commerce is going right now, if you're not on that e-commerce train in the next 5 years, you're going to be left behind. Let me tell you, the moment that physical stores died for me was the day that I ordered steak, raw steak online. You see, because 90% of the American population lives within a 10-mile radius of Walmart. I ordered my steak. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh, they're going to butcher this. They're going to mess this up. The steak, the T-bone steak that they picked for me was better than had I picked it myself. I ordered T-bone steak on Walmart.com at 8 o'clock in the morning. 2 hours later, there was a knock on my door. That was the day that yes, do I still go to physical stores? Yes, I do. I went and got some boxes. It just shows you where you can leverage e-com. You can literally buy whatever you want online in the convenience of your home. I didn't have to get up. I didn't have to get ready. And now they're even, just based on, I was at the summit, the Walmart summit in San Diego. Walmart is they're pushing now for delivery less than an hour. You buy something at 8 o'clock in the morning, guaranteed to be delivered by 9 in the morning, 60 minutes or less. Because technology is improving. That's what I'm telling you guys. The days of you get into your car, you drive to the store, you go and buy your palm oil, those days are at its end. I bought palm oil from Amazon. 2 days later, it was here at my mailbox. Milk. I buy milk on Walmart.com. And remember, guys, these platforms and these e-commerce platforms, the Walmart, the Amazons. Remember, Amazon is still number one when it comes to just general e-commerce. Amazon is number one. But when it comes to groceries, particularly perishable groceries, because Walmart actually can store and cold store those groceries within their stores that's within 10-mile radius of 90% of the American population. If I were to buy milk right now on Walmart.com, so I have 2 Walmart right now, literally within 5 miles from my house. There are internal shoppers that actually fulfill their internal fulfillment. You will just go, grab the milk, put it in a bag. They'll send the driver. Within 2 hours, I have my milk and my steak and my pepper. So let's wrap up. We're going to talk about a little bit about partnerships before I go. The US side, guys, remember you don't have to go at it alone anymore. You can actually hire people to help you source, package, and ship anything that you want from Nigeria into the United States. Whether it's for personal use or commerce, those resources are available to you now. You don't have to do the heavy lifting. One reliable sourcing agent in Nigeria can change your life. One reliable supplier in Nigeria can change your life. Whether you want to get into this import-export on a part-time basis or on a full-time basis, just know that you don't have to do it. You don't have to go at it alone anymore. And for you on the Nigeria side, the best way to get into the US market, you got to comply. Because you know Nigerians now, they think compliance doesn't apply to them. Compliance is critical. Partner with someone stateside that can help you navigate the complexities of entering the United States market. They got to make sure that you comply. They got to make sure that your your establishment, if you're a manufacturer, is registered with the FDA. These are the things, these are the foundational things that you got to, branding and packaging. That's actually another video. So I hope you guys found value in this. I'm going to wrap up. At the end of this, I hope you've taken this away. You've learned the gateway markets, US side, Nigeria side. If you're in the United States looking at exporting US made products into Nigeria, and Nigeria looking at exporting Nigerian products into the United States, you've got a little bit of a value there. Some of the in-demand items and things for you, items to stay away from. The trade advantages, we talked about AGOA. We talked about the e-commerce and the sales channels that you can leverage to get your goods into the hands of US consumers. And then we talked about some of like the partnerships that you're going to need. Hiring a team, building a team, and that goes both ways. So thank you guys for joining, tagging along on this. I really appreciate your time. Remember, Mbariket Export School. Go to mbariket.com, MBARIKET.com. We have mentorship there, consulting, conference. There's an Ask Me button there that comes directly to my WhatsApp number for you to ask just one question. Get guidance on the US Nigeria export market from mbariket.com. All the best, guys. Please be sure to like, share this video, and I hope that you find it informative. I'm going to try my best. I don't want to promise, but I'm going to try my best to do this every Wednesday going forward. All right. Talk to you guys. I'm 7 minutes over. I was trying to stay under an hour. So I'm 7 minutes over. So I got to get going, guys. All the best to you.